Elon Musk has sent a message to all of the Tesla employees out there telling them that you got to get your butt back into that office building for at least a minimum, he says, of 40 hours a week. That's the bare minimum. And if you don't show back up at the office, then we're going to take that as you quitting your job. Now, he does say he would personally review any cases where it is, quote, impossible for somebody to meet those standards. And if he deems it impossible, I guess he'll approve it. So you don't necessarily have to go back if you have, all these circumstances that prevent it. But for everybody else, get your butts back in the building for at least, again, a minimum, he says, of 40 hours per week. And I don't think anybody needs to be reminded that anything over 40 hours is overtime. So he's basically saying you have to at least work until you're about to hit overtime. That's the minimum. So he wants people in a building. He wants them to at least work 40 hours a week, which of course is required. 40 hours, nothing wrong with it. Saying a minimum of 40 hours, however, that's a little iffy, right? But here's the thing. There's no reason in particular why all of these employees have to report back into that office building for 8 hours a day. We've learned, God, if there's one thing we learned during the pandemic, it's that millions upon millions of Americans are more than capable and happy to work from home. I know some people miss the interactions that they get at the office. If those people want to go back, go back. If people have found that they're able to get a better work-life balance, still doing all of their job, but finally able to get some stuff done around the house as well, spend more time with their families, let them do that. They're going to be a happier employee. A happier employee is a better employee, right? That's not rocket science there, Elon. But you're arbitrarily forcing people back into these buildings because you and your company want to have a better grip on them. That's all this is, folks. That is all that this is about, is making sure that everybody is present and accounted for so you can look over shoulders, so that you can make sure everybody's on task, and so that you can maintain that tight, vice-like grip over your employees. Because if you can't do that, then hell, what's middle management for? Yeah, sure, you're wasting electricity going into the building. People are wasting gas, having to drive there and back every single day, and you're running the air conditioners, running the heaters in the winter. So yeah, you're spending more money as a company, and the employees are spending more money as an employee, but at least you get to monitor whether or not they're there every day. Now, if you had seen a noticeable decline in production during the pandemic, I could understand this to a degree, but you didn't. In fact, a lot of companies reported that when people started working from home, there was even more production than there had been when they were at the office. For many industries across this country, for many offices across this country, there was no physical reason for people to be inside of a centralized building. And that is probably the one thing we learned about people during the pandemic. People reported better quality of life, again, with that work-life balance. But sure, march them all back in that building just because you can't stand not being that centralized figure hovering over them all day long. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.